Hello everyone, and welcome to another The Isle Concept Analysis, a series of videos where I discuss about upcoming dinosaur concept arts released for Evrima. Today we will explore Shantungosaurus, its real-life counterpart, how it was in Legacy and how it's going to be in the future. So without further ado, sit back and enjoy the video. Shantungosaurus giganteus, or Shandong lizard, was a large hadrosaur from the late Cretaceous that populated the lands of what is now the Shandong Peninsula in China 70 million years ago. This plant eater was the largest hadrosaur that ever lived, reaching an astonishing 54 feet in length and weighing 18 tons, rivaling the average sauropod in size. These gigantic herbivores were part of the Edmontosaurinae tribe, a specialized portion of a much broader hadrosaur family that habited the northern hemisphere during the late Cretaceous, being the largest members of said family. The information of these species is limited due to the lack of specimens, but what we do know is that Shant was a very close relative of Edmontosaurus, with both sharing many similarities on various aspects. What distinguishes them apart, however, is their size, with Shantungosaurus being incredibly large even for a hadrosaur. A possible reason for this phenomenon is that Shant suffered from a severe case of gigantism, where a species becomes larger and larger across many generations. It is likely that this was caused by predatory competition from predators that possibly also suffered from the same condition, or that became overly efficient hunting hadrosaurs. Despite Shants not possessing many distinct physical features, they did possess a very large hole near their nostrils that may have been covered in loose skin, which may be an indication that it might have been used to produce sound. Being part of the original 6 dinosaurs that came with the launch of the Isle back in 2015, Shantungosaurus has seen all the changes made in the game so far. Since the very beginning, these monstrous herbivores were always an opponent to be reckoned with. Extremely high HP, surprisingly fast, and possessing one of the strongest attacks in the entire game, Shants rightfully placed themselves alongside the most dangerous dinosaurs in the Isle. However, much like Spinosaurus, they are also a discontinued species, never been implemented in the survival game mode alongside many others. But even though they haven't been updated for years at this point, Shantungosaurus remains as the top apex herbivore, only challenged by apex carnivores. Fortunately for us, Shants will not only come back in Evrima, but will also receive a complete rework. And now that we got its concept art, it is time to analyze it and see how this wall of meat will be in the future. We are finally back with some information-rich concept art, and despite seeming relatively similar, looks like that Shant has some new features that might make its gameplay experience more engaging. Let's take a look. Starting with this picture, we can see from the get-go that the overwhelming power of Shantungosaurus will remain intact in Evrima, with this illustration of a giga being shut down by the Shant's weight. With these two pictures, we can actually see a small sneak peek of its diet. By grazing with tenontos and consuming foliage from tall trees, we can deduce that Shant will be able to eat a multitude of vegetation, including some exclusive to sauropods. Remember that, it will be important later. Here we can see that the iconic Shant stomp makes a return. However, it is worth to point out that these two pictures are oddly similar, suggesting that stomps will require the Shant to knock its opponent down first before stomping. It is very hard to take any conclusive notes from this, but seeing these illustrations so similar to each other, I believe it is something to keep in mind in the future. This one is a rather odd one, I might say. Seeing different species of herbivores entering in any sort of confrontation is very rare in the Isle's concepts. However, it is important to note that galleys specifically will be egg eaters in Evrima. However, we know that from a while now, and galleys were never shown fighting other herbivores before, so this might indicate that galleys target Shant eggs either specifically or that they target them the most. but that speculation is also inconclusive since there's neither nests or eggs in the picture. Here's some Utahs trying to hunt down a juvenile shant, and the presence of the parent shows that despite the juvenile being the size of a full-grown tenonto, it is much more defenseless against predators, suggesting that growing shants will be significantly harder than most creatures. And finally, we see two Shantungosaurus fighting. It might be a fight for territory, nesting site, we are not sure. Shant's dominance over herbivores and carnivores alike seem to remain intact in Evrima. Their ginormous size and insane strength are showcased and emphasized in this concept, as well as showing that the devs are determined to make apex growth a difficult task, going as far as making Galley steal shant eggs, which is a much bigger investment of both time and resources compared to Legacy, with what we have been able to see in Update 5's stress test. Addressing Apex's growth difficulty is a good move in my opinion, since this is a very serious and evident issue in the Legacy. Check this video to learn more. However, the most significant aspect we should take from this concept is its diet, as it will impact the roster more than you think. In the concept we saw shants eating from both low-level bushes and treetop vegetation. These, therefore, suggests that shant's diet will enable them to graze and feed from a much broader area. As a consequence, their population will be more evenly spread across the map than other species, something that was also observed in the Kentrosaurus concept art. The difference here is that shants are apexes. Since Legacy, the presence of apex herbivores in a herd is crucial for its survival, especially against apex predators. These giants always attract smaller herbivores to its vicinity, and in Evrima won't be any different. The dispersal of shant's population will promote the formation of smaller and more evenly spaced herds, creating scenarios much more tempting for small and mid-tier carnivores. Shantungosaurus' diet has the potential of dynamically change the entire herbivorous landscape on the map. Not to mention that it can also promote alternative migration routes to smaller herbivores that wouldn't otherwise take them if they didn't possess apex herpes protection. Rather than this is beneficial to the game as a whole or not, we will have to wait and see. Thank you for watching. If you want to watch previous concept analysis, there will be a playlist available in the end credits. If you are interested in discussions about the Isle and its future, check out the rest of my content. A huge thank you to my Patreon supporters for supporting the channel and the content I create. If you wanna join the ranks, the link will be in the description. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and opinions down below, join our Discord server for memes and paleo nerd stuff, and I hope to see you very soon. Stay safe.